Hello, I'm Tiffany Green Williams, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Joining me is the goddess of DC, Rayceen Pendarvis.
Bam! Greetings and salutations, all.
Joining us is the Oye Owolewa. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Before we talk about your 2024 re-election campaign to DC Shadow Representative, please tell the viewers a little about your background and who you are.
Yes, thank you for that question. Born and raised in the United States, child of Nigerian immigrant parents, that really pushed me to not only secure a STEM career, but to also give back to the community. So in 2014, I actually moved here to Washington, D.C. just over 10 years ago and started my pharmacy practice. But still being in touch with the community, I started getting involved in the classrooms, getting kids interested in careers like my own. And one thing led to another, and I started to be involved in the community. Ran for ANC commissioner in 2018, where I won by one single vote. And with that energy and with that focus, I just started getting involved with so many different things, including the fight for DC statehood, which soon I ran for the position of U.S. representative, in which I'm in the role in today.
Wow, what a journey. Rayceen, you have the first question.
Thank you. In addition to being the 2024 Democratic Party incumbent running to serve a third term, what would you say are some of your most noteworthy accomplishments as representative?
Thank you so much for that question, Rayceen. More importantly than just the accomplishments is the people that I've been able to meet and collaborate with. Without folks like you, I wouldn't have been able to have the energy to go to other states and introduce and pass DC statehood resolutions. Without folks from this community, I wouldn't have been able to launch the expungement clinic where we helped returning citizens learn about their rights, get second chance employment opportunities, allowing folks to really have that second chance at life. And last but not least, really educating local business owners on how to get grants, contracts, certifications, just leveling the economic playing field. So regardless of where you're from, what you look like, or what your background is, you have an actual chance to have a sustaining and fruitful business and opportunities for folks around you.
Wow.
Thank you.
What would your priorities be in your new term as DC Shadow Representative?
Thank you for that question. In the past, we were able to pass a DC statehood resolution or DC statehood admissions bill in the House of Representatives. However, with party lines being mostly democratically controlled Congress in the past, today is a different atmosphere. Now we have Republicans in office. They're not only fighting statehood, they're also fighting home rule, our way of democracy. There was a local congressperson in Tennessee that actually threatened to defund my very own office. So we actually hit the ground running. We appeared in their own media as well as DC local media and expressed the importance of fighting for DC statehood, expressed the importance of this office and making sure that we are protected.
As the Democratic Party nominee representative, there is a presumption that you will be reelected. For additional context, there was a low turnout for the DC primary election, and nationally, voter frustration has been high. Please share why it's important for DC voters to vote this year and why you think they should vote for you.
Yeah, that's a really great question. Those are the two. The reason why people really need to vote is because not only do you get to have a say on who specifically is in office, we also have initiatives in our general ballot races, whether it's ranked choice voting, whether it's recreational marijuana use in the previous past, that folks can have a direct say on policy in DC. It's not just of electing people, but you can actually have a say on legislation or how things are going to happen here. In addition, the reason why I feel like there's less of a turnout than in the past is because sometimes people don't feel like they're engaged in office, or sometimes they feel like their elected officials only are around to ask for a vote, not in their day-to-day lives. And that's part of the reason why I specifically am trying to be out in this community. One thing I'm actually trying to work on as well, and I really think the LGBTQ plus community, is being involved in public health. One thing I'm working on is placing drug take-back bins in every police station, every fire EMS station, so folks have a way to get rid of their medications. As we see, fentanyl and prescription drug abuse is a huge issue. And with the leadership of the community, just making sure that public health, regardless of who you're involved with or who you love, is on the forefront, we've been able to make headways in DC that's unmatched in other areas in this country.
When does voting begin?
That's a great question. Typically in the past, we would say voting election day is on November 5th, but with mail-in ballots coming out at September 30th, that is really when people can begin voting. Folks are able to not only see my platform, but see other candidates' platforms to really know who they're voting for, and also have an extended amount of time so we can have more people voting. Recently, we went to Howard University and established a voting center there. So young people will be able to vote on campus. So folks who otherwise will have barriers to vote and be a part of the process will now have easier opportunities to get their voice heard.
Amazing. Since being the representative, what have you learned about the District of Columbia? And what have you learned about yourself in your time as DC Shadow Representative?
Thank you for that question. One thing I learned about DC, especially where I live in Ward 8, Southeast Washington, DC, is the diversity. Now, typically when you hear diversity, you think of skin color or economic background or things like that. But the biggest piece of diversity in DC is the way people consume information. Some folks will go to the Wilson building, which is our district government building. Some people go to the Capitol. Some people will need you to knock on their door. They're not just going to respond to a newsletter. So in my role, I've had to adapt to that and make sure that I'm reaching people in a myriad of different ways. I've grown a lot because I had to realize not everybody's like me, not everybody's like you, but everyone deserves to be represented in this city. And I've tried to differentiate the way I reach people and differentiate the topics I engage people, because folks may care about healthcare, folks may care about voting rights, folks may care about their business, folks may care about their public safety. And I had to make sure in this office, we approximate the value they can get from any other state in any other position.
Thank you for sharing that. So please tell our viewers how they can learn more about you and how to support your campaign.
Thank you for that question. My website, repoyedc, repoyedc.com, has all the information about me. My social media handles, Instagram, Twitter, guess what? Same thing. repoyedc, repoyedc.com. You can also subscribe to my newsletter so you'll be first to know what's going on in our office.
Viewers, please look in the description below for links. Thank you for spending some time with us, Oye.
Thanks for having me.
To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
Viewers, thank you for watching.